Welcome to MEELEVATE, the podcast show, and I am your host, Rick Nail, or other known as Mr. Coach Davis. Welcome to Parenting Thursdays, and today's topic is follow by example. I think talking about parenting is very important. Me being a single father raising my two boys, and I do have an older son. So altogether, I have 3 kids, but I have custody of my 2. And I had to realize that for me to create leaders, for me to create servants of God, I have to lead by example. So I had to realize that anything that was in my childhood that I disagreed with, I have to be 100% on it now. I also had to realize that all of my downfalls, I have to have self-awareness of them. And not only that, our kids watch everything we do. You are your kid's superhero. And when it comes to parenting, you can be a mother, a father, an aunt, or uncle, or even a grandparent. Matter of fact, you can even be a foster parent. And I think parenting is very important because this is how your child gets his or her character as an adult. And I had to realize that if I don't change some of my ways, then I'm going to get old traits that I don't want already within me and within my kids. So I had to realize there's certain stuff that I have to be able to change, because if I don't change them, then I can't be a better parent. I can't follow by example if I'm not giving my kids something to lead from. I have to be the leader, and I have to be the person that I want to be. So I'm going to tell you a story. I came a long way. I'm not perfect at all. I have been in the streets. I have done drugs. I have not been a good role model in different occasions. And this is life. No one's perfect, and we all have to be able to realize that we are always being watched. And what are you leading by example? What are you leaving to your kids? Are we teaching our kids to love one another? Are we teaching our kids respect? Are we teaching our kids honor? Are we teaching our kids love? Are we teaching our kids to love themselves? Are we teaching our kids to love God? Are we teaching our kids to follow God? Are we teaching our kids how to be an image of God? Are we teaching our kids value in life that's going to benefit them, and not only benefit them, but benefit their kids, their kids, their kids, their kids, generations to come? So in my journey from becoming who I was and becoming who I am, it's totally different. I done came from the streets. I done came from gangs. I done came from drugs. I done came from selling drugs, trap house. I done came from doing a lot of different stuff. And I had to realize, as a father, I know that I got to change my ways. And some of these ways, if they don't get changed, or if they don't get removed, then my kids will carry some of these traits. So anger. Anger is something that I've been dealing with as a child. I think a lot of the stuff with anger that I've been dealing with is because the emotions that I was, the insecurities, how I was raised, of my family, and a lot of other different things. But I had to realize, if I don't work on my anger now, if I don't work on anything that I put on a list that's negative in my eyes that I do not want to pass on to my children, I must eliminate. I must eliminate it, and I must work towards a different version of myself, because I don't think that we realize, and I'm not saying this goes for every parent out there, but I don't think we realize how much these kids follow us. And either you going to give them an example and be a leader and role model to them, or the TV is, YouTube is, the videos games is, the rappers, the actors, the singers, the musicians, whatever the case is, who they look up to. And you got to be careful, because everybody they may look up to that may look good could be feeding poison in your children's mind. See, I want to be able to build generational wealth. I want to be able to build generational health. I want to be able to build generational wealth. And I want to be able to build generational belief in God, because I think it's so much important, because God has so much taken away. So I feel like at a young age, can we be better and not bash your heads over with this certain type of religion that's going back and forth, arguing, fighting with each other and saying this and saying that. So now it's causing confusion within faith. So since it's causing confusion within faith, it can have a child disobey God, disobey you, and not only that, not have a true leader or a role model because they imitate what they see. So I remember my kids, I tell my kids, like, you know what? Daddy gonna quit smoking cigarettes. It's not good for my health. It's not good for my teeth. It already brings insecurities on certain type of stuff. It's not even a good image to be able to see your parents smoking a cigarette, And I told them it's bad for you. It's not good for you. It's unhealthy. And Daddy promised he's going to quit. So in the meantime, when I'm going through a certain emotion, when I'm being depressed, or when I feel a certain type of way, I want to begin to get a cigarette. Begin to get a cigarette that I know that's poison, and I'm telling my kids that it's poison, but they constantly see me smoking it. Now here goes the kicker. They constantly see me smoking it, and I'm telling them that this is not good for you. This is bad. You shouldn't have this right here. This can really mess up your life. It brings addiction. It causes different stuff in your body. It causes for your teeth to be yellow, brown. It causes decay. It causes so many different stuff. And I'm telling them that this is bad for them, but I constantly do it because I'm in a certain emotion and I'm not able to control my emotions. So me not being able to control my emotions, I'm not able to have discipline and control my habits. So now I'm teaching my kids not to be disciplined, and I'm teaching my kids not to be a man or not to stand on your word. So I had to realize, what am I doing? Like, I'm telling my kids the right thing, but I'm not walking what I'm saying to them. And then, I got one son that's telling me, Dad, you're supposed to quit. My other son said, Dad, you lied. You said you was going to quit. You're never going to smoke again. Constantly telling them this, but they constantly see me be a failure through myself off of an addiction. And this is just the beginning. And this is the same thing to go for anger. I always had an anger problem. Since a child, I had an anger problem. And I believe that one of the main things is absence, father. I didn't have a father growing up. And I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but a lot of that built onto that. And then gangs, drugs, and a lot of other different stuff, verbal abuse. And even I was raised around even domestic violence in certain areas. And all domestic violence don't have to be physical. It can be verbal. So now I have them character traits within me and my DNA that I'm trying to alter and change that I may put on them unintentionally. So if I don't work on these things and be a role model and guess what? Lead by example. If I don't lead by example, then how can I ever be a leader? And I don't think that we hold ourselves accountable, and not me judging people, but I want to get this a point across. I find it very hard for me to look at a lot of this stuff when it comes to this TV, when it comes to the cartoons, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to Instagram, when it comes to different stuff that the kids can have access to. Do you know how bad that is infiltrating their mind? Do you know how bad that it's infiltrating the kid's mind? And then we so censored when you can't talk about it or you get canceled that you can't speak your mind and teach your kids. And now they have it where The teachers is teaching your kids certain stuff that you may feel uncomfortable with, that you have no control over because it's a guideline. Not only is a guideline, they are becoming laws. So now our children don't even have their own minds because they are already being programmed. Just how you was programmed, how I was programmed, our parents was programmed, our grandparents was programmed, our great parents was programmed. So we constantly see this. We constantly see the same thing over and over and over. And my question is to me, when is enough? I want my kids to see the superhero parent that they think that they have. But if I continuously to do these traits that are bad habits, that are bad things, that are not good for role modeling, because now, you know what one of my sons told me about 6 months ago? Oh yeah, Dad, I want to smoke a cigarette just like you when I grow up. And it broke my heart. Like, you want to do what? It actually broke my heart to be able to see that and hear that. And I had to realize no more. And I'm not perfect. I still have some flaws in there. Let's go back to the anger part. So if I'm yelling because I'm mad, or I'm yelling because I can't hold my temper, or I'm yelling and screaming, or I'm getting angry and rage, these are not godly things. These are not good traits that I'm teaching my kids. What am I teaching my kids? To yell and scream when you mad? Be angry? I can keep going on and on. And the reason why I am exposing my traits, because I had to be self-aware, and I had to be self-aware and expose them traits to myself. And I had to expose it to my kids. I had to tell my kids, this is not good. This is not good that Daddy's doing this. This make me cowardly because I'm not following my word, and I'm yelling and not holding my temper. Because all my life as a child, this is what I heard over the years. I had to lead the gangs. Do I want my kids in gangs and throwing up gang signs and fighting over color when they grow up? No. I absolutely hate seeing these young kids out here now fighting each other, killing each other, shooting each other. There is no guidance. Like, where is the parents at? Not only that, where is the true leaders at? Where is the leader that's going to stand up against it and not stand with the kids, enabling them to do worse? Is God in our community? Is God in your household, in parenting? Are we believing false beliefs? Are we making ourselves comfortable by feeding ourselves lies? And then not only that, we teaching our kids the same thing: how to lie, how to become the worst version of us, because you're not even teaching them the best version. And I'm not saying this goes for everybody out there. You know what? You never know. You might have a perfect parent out there. But is it? Is your kids doing stuff behind your back? Are you finding stuff about your children that you don't know? Am I taking time out to spend time with my kids every day, daily, to get to know my kids? No. And it's a part that hurt me, that I had to realize, like, time goes so fast. If I don't settle down right now and stop, because the problem is I'm living in the future. I'm living in the past, and I am not in the present. And if I am not in the present, they don't even feel my presence. So if they ask me to do something, or, hey, Daddy, can I do this? Or, Daddy, can you come here? Oh, wait a minute. It's okay. Hold on, 5 minutes, or maybe later. What am I teaching my kids? Now I'm teaching my kids that they are not important, that they don't come first because I want to do this or I want to do that. Not saying that them things are not important. I'm not saying that. But I had to realize sometimes I got to just stop and be in the present. Be in the present. Because their mind can get corrupt so fast. Their mind can get corrupt so easy. Parenting is very important because we are raising human beings. And if I'm supposed to be an image and like the image of God, am I teaching my children how to be the image of God? Am I? Am I changing their mindset? Am I showing them that they can believe and have faith and you can do anything you want to in this lifetime? Or am I teaching them how to get mad? Or am I teaching them how to hate other people? Am I teaching them how to hate other races? Am I teaching them that, oh, well, that skin is better than this skin and this skin is better than that skin and we don't like this skin because this? Am I teaching my kids, oh, no, that religion is this, that religion is that, so this is right here, so we just keep feeding hate? And it took a long time for me to be able to realize this, because me getting custody of my kids, I had to be able to change my life completely. Now, I still had some bad stuff and bad traits about me in the beginning that I had to work on. I still even have traits now that I am working on to be a better parent. And parenting is not easy. Parenting have taught me patience. Parenting have taught me how to be a better father. And then I used to beat myself up like, well, Ricky, I don't know how to be a dad because I never had a dad. I never had a real example how to be a father. Now, I done had some good mentors. I done had some good uncles. I done had some good grandfathers. I done had some good stuff, good people in my life to be able to see what a father is. You know what I'm saying? Like my Uncle Blood is an amazing father. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the best fathers that I know. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to like leading by example, and he's not the only one, like all of my uncles, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to their children. But what I'm saying is, it's very important because our kids watch everything we do. And guess what? Your children is going to want to be just like you. So whatever you do, whatever your habits is, whatever they see, they going to want to be. And I had to ask myself on a daily basis, how do I want my children's future? How do I want my children's future to be? Do I want my kids to grow up how I grew up, even though I had a rough childhood? Had an amazing mom, but my father was absent. I'm not judging him. I forgive my father. I forgive my father for not being there. I forgive my father for not protecting me. I forgive my father for not showing me how to be a father. But it'd be wrong for me to sit here and hold on to that hate. Now, I have done that. As a child to my adult age, I hated my father because he was never there. He didn't protect me when I needed to be protected. So it's different stuff that I'm realizing, that if we don't look at ourselves in the mirror and have self-awareness and have self-control, have self-discipline, and have all of these stuff within ourselves, we are passing traits onto our kids. And my mission is to change my DNA to alter theirs. My faith is so strong. My belief in God is so strong. But I got lost for a long time. And I realized that I don't want to be lost and have children, because now I'm not leading my children into the way that it's supposed to be. I'm not leading my children somewhere where it can be better. The same thing with the finances. My finances is not 100% great. I'm struggling now to this day. Still to this day, I am struggling with my 2 kids. But I don't try to complain because there's so many people out here that are struggling. If it wasn't for the government, food stamps, different little stuff that they have that has helped me over the years, I couldn't tell you where I'd be. And I wouldn't have that if it wasn't for God. You know, and it's very important, because I think we teaching our kids how to be something that we're not. And this don't go for everybody. Everybody have different values. Everybody have different beliefs. Everybody has different views and goals and dreams. And I understand that. But are we putting our kids first, or are you putting yourself first? You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing with with my oldest son. Like even when it comes to child support, um, behind on child support. I've been behind on child support for a long time. You know, and not behind on child support because I don't want to pay child support. I'm the one that put myself on child support when it comes to my first son because I didn't have two other kids. I had a really good job, paid really well, you know, and that kind of fell short. And then when I lost my first family, because my first family I lost because I was insecure, I was immature, I was angry, I was mean, and all of this stuff because I was a hurting little boy in a man's body. So now I'm conflicting. Now I'm putting my insecurities and my different anger issues and little boy issues, not having a father issues, stuff, all that I done been through, and I'm putting it into my relationship and not knowing that I'm so young, she's young, and I'm not fully a man yet, whether I was 23 or not. I think I was 23. She was 18. So even going back to then, do you know how much that I have hurt her being a young age and not hurting her intentionally? And I apologize for that tremendously. And I'm nowhere near the man that I am now that I thought that I was then. So what I'm saying is like, we really have to lead by example. And like, this is really for like, this is what it's really for. Because our kids need somebody to look up to. And we're not all perfect. We can't look down on ourselves because we have flaws in our life. We can't look down on ourselves because we didn't been through stuff in our life. We have to be able to be there in the present, conquer the past so we can build our future. So what I'm saying to you is today, are you the role model in your kid's life? Do you want your kids to follow your footsteps, your negative footsteps, your negative traits? How can we be better parents? Look at it. There's so much division out here. So much hate out here. Are we teaching the kids that? Are you teaching your kids hate? Are you teaching your kids different traits that you don't want yourself to have? It's very important to think about. And I hope this reached anybody that really need this, because I know that I did. And I still do, as I still work on patience, as I still work on growth, as I still work on personal development, self-awareness, understanding, godliness, being a better father, being a better man, making better choices, making better decisions, thinking about the generational wealth, generational health, understanding, overstanding. So before we leave for the next segment, I'm asking you this right now. In this very moment, what are you teaching your kids? Because sometimes I look at Instagram too, and I just be like, wow, I'm so sad for these young women. Because now if these young women follow the women that's on Instagram now, it's going to be bad for these young girls. Look how these women treat their bodies and their self on Instagram now. It's more fathers that's taking care of their kids than the mothers. Look who they have to look up to. 98, or well, maybe I might not say 98%, but at least 78% to 80% of women got an OnlyFans. And if they don't have an OnlyFans, they look like they got an OnlyFans. And then they teach their kids the same thing, the same poses. And matter of fact, you got to have a filter. I haven't seen a girl without a filter in probably the last 5 years. And now it's projected on the children. Now the children see this. Now the children think that they need a filter or they need this. And then the music that they listening to is sick. And I refuse. And I'm here to stand up for my children. And I hope you're here to stand up for yours. We'll be right back. I always believed in myself.
The last man did you wrong, I promise you.
And I knew if I push it, I can always take it further. I love my kids. This is who I do it for. Balancing my craft, my children. Both things I love. Then staying motivated. Being able to work with artists in New York. Well, I'm excited to bring footage to the table. We have a lot of discussions. Oh, these damn kids on podcasts. So I got kids here, so this might be a problem. And my kids is my biggest blessing.
Mr. P been the name before I got on. I was already cooking before you caught on. Put the pressure on the boy, perfect. But I stay strong. Keep the gold on the chicken.
Everybody, come watch Eli, man of God.
Now look at the camera like this. Everybody, come and watch Eli, the amazing guy.
Everybody, come watch Eli.
I remember that Black Lives Matter video. So happy I got to be a part of that history. We are back. Now that was a documentary that I put together for school, actually. And it's also a documentary that I've been trying to really work on. Because I think the main goal is for the kids. And I think it's very important because now if we don't realize that we are raising leaders, we are raising people that's not going to be here. We are raising people when we're not going to be here eventually. I just got some questions for us parents. 1, are we building our children's self-esteem? Are you spending valuable time? Are you spending valuable time with your children? Are you teaching your kids how to believe? Are you teaching your kids how to protect themselves? Are you teaching your kids responsibilities? Are you teaching your kids yes, ma'am, no, ma'am? And this is not me sitting here like I'm a better parent. These are all the stuff that I had to realize and ask myself and even challenge myself to be a better parent. Are we showing them what a good role model is? Are we making time to really spend time with them and not just sit there with them? And I mean, really spend time with them as their mind develops. They need us. Look at the violence right now. Look at the violence in our community. Look at these babies, teenagers, they young, dying, killing each other, shooting other people, robbing other people. Not saying that they didn't learn some of that from us as a child, or are they learning it from the music, the movies? Who are programming these children to act like this? Are we teaching our kids the value of God, the value of love? Are we being flexible and willing to adjust our parenting style? Are we okay with being open to other parents saying, you know what, maybe you should try this or maybe you should try that? Because I'm not perfect. Even my kids, when it comes to them being in school, I'm trying my best now to not fail them because I feel like I felt my second grader, well, he's going to second grade now, but I feel like I failed him in kindergarten because a lot of the stuff that he wasn't prepared for, even going into first grade. And I'm like, wow, like his reading and writing. Okay, well, my reading ain't the best. So I got to practice my reading so I can help them. My writing, I am an amazing writer. Now, is my spelling appropriate or have the right grammar and according to the world? No, I know that. But why can't I take myself to fix that so I can be a leader to them? Me Elevate the podcast, Me Elevate Cobra Production Studio Films. It's a lot of content that we're going to be putting out. Excuse me. Not just for adults, it's for kids too. Because we got to be able to really lead by example. Like I see the genius in you. You're such a genius. You're so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like encouraging them, like bringing light to the situation. This is Parenting Thursdays. And this is leading by example. And I have not always led by example. I have followed what I was taught, and I had to realize no more. I must unprogram myself to reprogram myself. I must show them something in me that they can see in them, that they can have relatable. Is my finances the best? No. But it takes me to work on my finances so that way when they get a certain age, I can teach them their finances now, and I can teach them how to keep finances. When it comes to their mindset, my mindset is on point. I can teach them that mindset right now because I know how to shift it. Anger, it's a progress. It's something that's very, very, very low now. And it used to be up here. Now it's up here. But now I had to realize since mine is lower and I'm working on that, now I got to work on theirs. You think I care what people say when I'm working on myself and holding myself accountable and having self-awareness when people don't even look themselves in the mirror and realize that they can be the problem sometimes? And now since you're the problem, now you carrying that same trait and you giving it to somebody else. And not only that, you're giving it to the people that you bring into the world. Now you are feeding your hate or your relationships or your job or your friendship or whatever the case may be, whatever emotion that you may be in at the moment. Now you are feeding that to them. And now they are carrying some of them traits and they're going to feed them and take them to school. They're going to feed them to their brothers and sisters. They're going to feed them to their cousins. They're going to feed them in their daily routine and activities. Excuse me, my stuttering coming back. I'm getting passionate. I used to stutter real bad. Like when I was a kid, I used to stutter so bad I couldn't even get out a word. Afraid to talk in front of people. Always talked in rooms by myself. Man, I was a very insecure child. I got made fun of, man. I mean, by friends, family, school people. I can just keep going on. You know what I'm saying? I had a rough childhood. My mom, at a younger age, I would think I was like 11 or something like that. I really can't remember the age, but I believe it was like 11 or 10 when the doctor was telling us, situations, at a young age that I may not have my mother. And it hurt me. And I'm young age and I don't know how to comprehend this. So I had to become a man at a young age. And then me becoming a young man as a child, it even kind of ruined the relationship that I had with my brother because I wasn't able to lead by example because I had nobody to lead from or follow the leader. I was just in a lost world, even as a child. So imagine if I did have a father there, and just because you got a father and mother there don't mean that they great role models, because we have some horrible parents out here. And I'm not here to judge because I'm not perfect at all, but we got some kids that's out here doing stuff that they should never do with their kids, leaving your kids with certain people. You know what I'm saying? Whatever benefits you and not benefit the kids. And you know who I'm talking about. I don't have to address nothing. You know who you are. This is world global. But what I'm saying is here today, parenting is very important. And you see how the world is now and what the world is heading to. Yeah, technology may be getting better, but is the world getting better? Is people love for each other getting better? Do we got to worry about our children? And even the fact that we got to be people of color, black people, brown people, and we got to teach our kids certain things and how to act a certain type of way so you can be safe or protected. Now we have the worry of that. Stuff that was built, stuff that was made laws to divide us or control. So now they got stuff into place where they're controlling your children. Do you see these cartoons? The radio, the music, the movies, they are infiltrating our children's mind. Are you allowing that to raise your kids, or are you raising your kids? Like, let's really sit down and talk about it. Where is the value at? Where is the value? Show me the value. That's what they really saying. Show me the value so I don't gotta go to a game. Show me the value so I don't go out here and think that I gotta be cute and get the attention from every boy or every man that I see. Where is the value at? Where is the leadership from the women and men? Your daughter see you with 10 different men at different times, so she think that that's how she got to act. Your daughter see you wearing trampy clothes, so now she think that she got to wear trampy clothes. Your daughter see you not getting respected by men, so now she know that men ain't going to respect her, so she don't care about her body. The men don't have no leaders besides them telling them, okay, go ahead and throw up them gangs. All right, go ahead and sell these drugs, pussy drugs. All right, go ahead and play sports. And I'm not saying that sports is bad, because sports is a great way for kids to get out the hood. But that's not the only thing. Sports is not the only thing. Being a rapper is not the only thing for our young men to be out here representing. Lead by example. We can be doctors, lawyers, police officers, judges, real estate, videography. Personal development coaches, speakers, writing movies, directors. The list goes on. Architects. And we can be real different if we choose to be, and not choose to be programmed or what they telling us that we should be. Y'all don't understand, man. And I'm the type of person that came from a gang, and I went to a gang because I didn't have a father. I wanted to feel love. I wanted to feel protected. I wanted to feel safe. But was that the right choice? Is that the only choice that we are given, though? And I hope you understand what it takes to be a leader, because being a leader is something that we have to do every day. I have to learn every day how to be a better person. I have to learn every day how to be a better father, because some of my old traits are still there. Not because I don't want them to be, not because I want them to be. It's because they still there, because some of the choices and some of the traits and habits, I have to figure out what they are. And if I don't figure out what some of these traits is, then I will never know. And then my kids will be lost forever. And I'm saying this because this should be applied to every home and everyday life, because these are the choices that these children are making. We are dying every day. These kids are dying every day. They getting their mind infiltrated. They getting their innocence stolen from them. No more. I want to lead by example. I want to teach my kids to believe. Believe whatever you want to believe. You can be whatever you want to be. I want to teach my kids the presence of God. I want to show my kids the presence of God. I want to show my kids, don't worry about fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Why are we installing fear in our children? And not only that, why are we allowing them to install fear in our children? We have to lead by example. And I'm not on here to bash nobody. I'm not better than you. I'm not trying to be better than you. I'm just trying to show you a different view, a different outlook, a different way, a different choice, a different option, a different decision, something that can be great. Like, do you know how great you are? And you know what? I'm not talking about the kids right now. I'm talking about you as a parent. A grandparent, aunt, uncle, guardian, whatever the case may be. Do you know how many stories that you have that you can keep your kids away from the drama and the struggle? Do you understand? If you take your time to stop being selfish, and this can go for me too, and spend that quality time that they need, it matters. Make your children a priority. Don't make your job a priority before your kids, even though we got to feed our kids. Don't make your relationship more important than your kids, even though your relationship is important. Don't make your friendships more important than your kids, even though your friendships could be important. Or are they? Are your relationships important? Are your job important? Is it bringing value? Is it bringing something that you can pass on to your kids? Can you pass on this knowledge to your kids? Can you pass on this wisdom to your kids? You're great. Be great. And let's stand up for our children, because if we don't stand up for our kids, they will forever be lost. And there is no one out here that's going to stand up for them. And then you better be careful who you allowing to spend time with your kids, because everybody parenting different. Everybody parent different, and everybody have different views and outlooks about parenting and how it is. And I'm telling you this right now. Just because I parent this way or you parent that way, but what is the best way to parent for these kids? What is the best way to parent for these kids, man? It gets me frustrated to see these. It get me frustrated to see our young men not respecting each other. It get me frustrated to see these kids not having true leaders, because I hate in the community, and especially the black community, that they are dying every day. We are illiterate. We don't read books. The only thing we do is thinking that we have to be a rapper. We have to be in sports. And I'm not saying there is nothing wrong with the positive outcome of that, but I'm saying overall, this is the only 3 things that we know. Seriously. We ain't teaching them nothing else. We got to do better. And I put myself in that same category as you. We got to do better. Our children is so much important. And before we get out of here, I want to say this. Matter of fact, let's just do a prayer. God, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for this moment. I am grateful for my children, God. And I want to be able to be a better father. I want to be able to be a better mother. I want to be able to make better choices for my kids, and not only make choices for myself, not being greedy. I want to be able to make better choices that's going to keep them alive, keep them growing, keep them developing genius techniques about themselves. I want to keep them growing through generations and generations. Take all the stuff that I am selfish with and take it away and put my kids first. Put my kids first. These babies are here dying. Their mind is being corrupted. Their innocence is being taken. They have no protection. Now it's not even protecting them physically. Now you got to protect them mentally and physically and spiritually. It's a war. You got to protect them emotionally. You got to encourage them to be great. Encourage the light in them. Don't allow us to let other people, or don't let us dim the light in our children. God, I just want to say thank you. And I don't even know if I said everything that I need to say, because there's just so much more. But God, I just ask you to be on their hearts right now. It's just so much that we need to understand as parents, because we are raising young men, young women that's going to be a woman, that's going to be a man when they grow up. And then they're going to have kids, and they're going to be able to have grandkids and generations to come. Let's start here with us. Let's make these sacrifices with us. In Jesus' name, amen. We need to be better. Let me go to my questions. And I'm gonna go to my questions. Matter of fact, let's do something better. I'm gonna say these things right here. We must show love, provide support, setting limits, being a role model, teaching responsibilities, showing respect, providing a range of experiences. We must show our kids the way and be leaders. And I'm asking you this right now. Are you the role model that you want to be for your children? Are you happy with everything you do that your kids can see you and role model? Are you leading by example? This is Mr. Coach Davis, other known as Rick now. And this is Me Elevate the Podcast Show. And this is Parenting Thursdays. Let's do better. Let's be great. You all great. And never look down on yourself about the parenting issues. Figure out the solution. Figure out the problem. Figure out what do we have to do to observe this situation to make it better, to protect our babies, to keep them safe, to keep them alive, to spend time with them, protect their innocence, protect their mind, protect their spirit, mentally, physically, spiritually. Be great. And remember, we all have choices, but what choices are you teaching them? We all have decisions. Are you making the correct decisions for them? Today was a beautiful day. And once you stop saying, wait a minute, and once you stop saying no, say yes to your kids and say, okay, you need me right now? Okay, here I go. Oh, Dad, can you come here for a second? Here I come. Hey, Mom, can I ask you a question? Yep, here I come. Show them how to lead. Show them how to be great because you are great. Let's go.